What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday night, 9 p.m. I almost said Wednesday, bro. We usually are on Wednesdays, but today is Thursday. It's a special night for us, and we are back. We're going to talk about BKFC 76. We're going to talk about a possible four-man tournament, and we're going to talk about a releasing of a champion in the shitstorm that is involved. Michael, you weren't with me in Texas, but how you doing, my friend?
Well, a lot has happened in the last 2 weeks. I got out of prison. I'm not in the prison room anymore, as you can see. I'm back home. I was released. The Army released me from my prison room.
Still looks nice.
There's been lots of labubu's here. I'm not sure if you know what a labubu is, but if people are watching, they might know what a labubu is, and it's the next big thing from Hong Kong. There's just labubus everywhere. And today, I don't know why, but I was very excited to get on here, but the longer the day went on, I was like, I don't even know if I can do the show. I'm so like, I don't know if I'm stressed or excited about this show because, man, there's so much to talk about. And that release that you talked about, this whole thing has blown up to be the silliest, most ridiculous back and forth match of a guy that I haven't heard or seen for over a year, but I do have a funny story about him that we could talk about later.
Yeah, we're gonna talk some things about that. I hope everybody tunes in. We're gonna wait till everybody gets on here. I want to shout out Pete Barrett. Check this shirt out I'm wearing. I got the
oh yeah, that's right. You know what's so funny is I really thought you were wearing a Pabst Blue Ribbon shirt.
No, this is a Slippery Pete Barrett, New England Zone. I love this shirt, dude. It says DGAF, don't give a fuck original right here, and then right down at the bottom it says Slippery since '86. I'm guessing he was born in '86. Slippery Pete. So very cool shirt. He fought at Mohegan Sun the last time he was up here. I got this shirt from him. My man, dude.
Had a Slippery Pete more than a few times.
Yeah, a Slippery Pete. Well, we're gonna have a special guest coming on in a minute. Big Ben Rothwell. I didn't promote this, but Big Ben Rothwell was down there in Texas. Mike, you should have seen this 300-pound monster running around doing his best Brian Socha impression. He did a phenomenal job, and it was really cool to see him out there. I don't know if you guys even realized it watching the event on TV.
I didn't.
Socha wasn't there, and I don't. You know what? We don't ever really watch, and we don't see much of Socha on the TV, but you do hear him announce like the get ready for the 5th and final round. They had that recorded, so they were
really?
Yeah, so they were still playing Socha doing the 5th and final round.
That's why I thought he was there.
Yeah, he was not there. You know who was? Big Ben Rothwell was the guy in the ring, hyping up the crowd, shooting off the t-shirt cannons, chucking by hand t-shirts out to people. He was out in the crowd freaking hyping everybody up. It was great, man. I was really impressed by him. I can't wait to get him on here and talk about it. But you were at home. You were watching the event. What did you think about it?
That was very anticlimactic. But you were at home. Yes, I was. I was at home watching the fights. I thought they were pretty good. The fights were pretty good in Texas. I enjoyed it. It's weird because I always believe in Tony Soto. You know, he's a good buddy of ours. And I watched that event, and we'll get into this, and I'm kind of just skipping over the whole event, but I just want to talk about it real quick. Did Tony look like himself? Was he anxious? I don't know. He was swinging, falling into the ropes and shit. And I was like, man, what's going on with Tony right now? I don't know. Like, he fought his ass off, and he always does. And I actually think without the knockdown, which the second knockdown was a little sus. It wasn't sus on the part of Ben Bonner, right? He just swinging. But his arm, when I watched it, initially looked like he got caught by the crook of his elbow and like kind of almost punched in the back and dragged down a little bit. But I feel like Tony kind of won the rest of the fight mostly, but it is what it is. He got knocked down twice. But at first I was like, what the hell is going on with Tony? He's all over the place, man.
Well, I'm not going to speak for Tony, but he did seem like a little more emotional going into this fight than any other fight that we've been around him. Like he's always dialed in, and he was dialed in again for this one, but he was like very short fused prior to the fight. Wasn't really talking to anybody. He was having a hard time getting along with a few people here and there. But you know, that's emotions running high right before you're going for a world title. So, which is to be expected. That
Oh yeah.
they got to diet and cut weight and go through the camp, and then they got to get down there and go through all the media stuff. And I think Tony was just like basically at his freaking wits end by the time the weigh-ins came around. And also losing his opponent, getting a replacement, losing the replacement.
Yes.
Um
That
and
I think is sometimes, it's a good thing. People always like, yeah, you save the fight, you save this, you do that. Picking up somebody last minute like that is it's not always a good idea, Hey,
right.
they fight who they fight. They're fighters. They live for fighting, and that's what they do, and that's what he did. And he'll be back. I just actually got upset because I saw what the hell is that fake Darkwing Duck dude? What the hell is that? Do you know
Come
what I'm
on.
talking
Oh,
about?
yes. Patrolman.
Patrol Man. He's back. I don't know if he's back or if he's been around or whatever, but this loser is still online. Whoever
What do you
this
say?
person is just, you know what? I hate to put a person down, but you got to be a loser to freaking have a fake name and go online every day for 5 years and just talk shit about people. I don't know who it is, but they're on there. He's on there talking
What was
shit
he
about
saying?
how Tony's like the worst, and so about his people talking about his percentage landed, and I'm like, this dude landed like 98% of his shots in like 2 fights ago. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. But that fight, I don't know, man.
Howie
That fight was
Atherton's
weird.
in the comment section saying he's a friend of yours.
Yeah.
Darkwing Duck there.
I don't know if he's my friend. He might be an
um
acquaintance.
He also, I did see Patrolman is back because he posted something too about a guy we're going to talk to next Wednesday. I don't know if you even knew this, Mike. We're going to have Rodney Hinton on the show next Wednesday. We're going to talk to that
Yes.
madman, dude.
I want to
Talk about freaking a complete maniac. I freaking love this guy. But I rode to the airport with him in the van, and he's the most calm,
Yeah, I know. Isn't he?
docile guy. But you get him out there at the weigh-ins, you get him out there on the walk to the ring. He's got the Hannibal Lecter mask on. You get him in the ring, and you guys saw what happened when he was in there, dude. He fucking is a
He's full of
complete
energy.
maniac. I loved it. He was just a ball of fire, man. And he's got a crazy backstory. And we're not going to talk about that tonight because we're going to talk about that with him next week. I saw that Patrolman was online, and he said Rodney Hinton will probably never be a world champion, but God damn it, he's fun to watch. So props. I mean, maybe he won't be a world champion, maybe he will, but I will agree with you, Patrolman. He is fun to watch. He was fun to watch at the weigh-ins. He was fun to watch on the way out to the ring, and he was fun to watch that whole damn fight. It was fucking awesome. What'd you think about that fight?
Look, that guy is super calm all the time until he gets in that ring. And then he's an absolute ballistic madman. Just if you ever met that guy and he like say the Hard Rock, you meet him at the Hard Rock. He's working for BKFC. He's just standing out there, just manning the lines, just making sure people are doing what they're supposed to be doing, just chilling. You go up to him, he's just super nice. Just, hey, what's going on? Big smile, chill, whatever.
Yeah.
Man, when he gets in that ring, he is just a savage.
He's a savage.
What is his background in fighting? Does he have any background whatsoever? He just gets in there and just swings for the fences, and he's
Well,
nuts,
he's
man. I couldn't believe
basically
it.
he's been training at
He's
Smith
moving
Brothers.
pretty well too. He's bobbing and weaving, and I'm like, damn, this guy, like, came out of nowhere.
He did. He's a product of the Smith Brothers, dude. He trains there with Brandon Gold and Kevin.
Yeah.
And they were, I mean, Brandon was saying he's got like they have to tell him to fucking stop. Like you gotta stop. You gotta
Go
you
to
gotta
bed, sir.
Ease up, go to sleep, man. Go to sleep. Take it easy, bro. But congratulations to Rodney and his opponent, and also and Tony and Ben Bonner, because they both got fight of the night bonuses too, man. Which is very cool. I thought Mike being there, I'm gonna just tell you. Let me just tell you about this place for a minute.
Just tell me.
It was killing me that you weren't there, because Dickey's Arena was one of the nicest arenas that we've been in yet. It was like beautiful. This fucking place was so nice. I don't know how new Dickies Arena is, but it seemed pretty damn new.
It looked nice
Everything
on
was,
TV, but in Texas, there's a lot of nice property.
oh my God, it was like state of the art. It was very nice, all inside, like the whole like mezzanine area where the food vendors are and everything was just perfect, really nice, open, wide open. It wasn't crammed in, like it was very spread out up there. If you were going to get food or like merchandise or to go to the bathroom or whatever, you're not bumping into anybody. But the backstage area with the locker rooms were beautiful. The artwork on the walls, they had like these burnt wood artwork pieces of all the people that have performed there, kind of like Mohegan Sun has everybody sign the wall.
Yeah.
They have like these like square pieces of wood where they like brand the logo and name of every band, or like Kevin Hart, cool. Joe Rogan, Kevin Hart, like they had all those on the backstage. Andy Hall said that this wall ain't shit until the Mike and Mish logo is on that wall, and I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Thanks, Andy. Thank you.
Shout out to Andy.
Andy's gonna make his debut role in a film soon.
Yeah,
Andy Hall.
Yes, stay tuned.
He even has a good line at the end.
Yeah, I can't remember what he says, but I can't wait to see it. Willie Green, whoop ass, and Willie Gates. Did you see Whippy?
Man.
Dude, whoop ass Willie Gates.
Yeah,
what I did not know about him is that he has like a big MMA background. He has like 25 pro fights, and he fought in the UFC. I was like, man.
Yeah, they talked about that on the broadcast.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
that either.
Yeah, and that fight was exciting as hell, and he fucking landed a nice TKO there, and let the entire arena know that whoop ass is for real. That was pretty cool. And he had the beautiful mustache. That was fantastic as well.
Yeah, where is he at here? Let's see. Let me bring this up while we wait here. Oh, well, look at this guy. Want to just bring him right in? Is he ready? I don't think he's ready.
Yeah.
It looks like he's getting ready, but let's see here. Let's bring up.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to Jeremy Sauceda too. Sauceda got another win. It was so nice to see Leonard Garcia there. Did they show what he did? Did they show it on TV?
I missed it if they did. If they showed it on TV, I missed it, but I don't know if they did show it.
Okay, let me just say this, dude. Leonard Garcia is one of the nicest people that we have met since doing this show and since being involved in the fucking combat sports world. That dude is just like a genuinely nice, good person. And when he saw me, I was my cousin and her husband went to the event, Stacy and Pete, and we were up by Will Call, and Leonard came in to get his tickets for him and his family, and saw me, dude, gave me a hug like we fucking been best friends forever, told me how nice it was to see me. And I was like, dude, it is fucking great to see you, Leonard. I didn't even think that I might see you out here. He lives in Texas, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know. I can't think of everything, but it was good to see him. But then what was even cooler was later on that night, and if they didn't televise it on the TV, him and Feldman had talked, and Feldman said, you really were our first welterweight champion. Because the event was held in Mexico, the Mexican commission like claimed it and called it the Latin American title. But Feldman wanted to recognize Leonard as the official, first ever BKFC welterweight champion. And it was really cool. He brought him up in the ring. He said a few things. He presented him with the belt. He gave him the microphone. And Leonard said, I think I got enough for one more fight in me. And there's one guy that I would do it for, and it's you, Diego Nightmare Sanchez. So if you want to toe the line with me, that's the one I'll come back for. So, dude, I would watch that fight. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
They got real life beef between them two. It's great.
Them both being in the Albuquerque area, and them like BKFC. That town is great. It's a great fight town. Everybody there knows about fighting. Even when we got there for the first time to see BKFC, do their first live show there, everybody already knew they were coming to town. So to have somebody like Leonard Garcia go ahead and fight Diego Sanchez, like they're both of those guys, like Feldman was kind of talking about it too. Like, it's not really putting them out by like facing them against younger guys that are in their prime. These guys, they're still dogs, but they're a little older. So we'll have them both fight each other. They'll beat those guys will beat the fuck out of each other. I know.
Yeah.
I just
He
know
said
it.
he said those he said in the post-fight press conference that them two are pretty much the only two that I would bring them back for to fight each other and nobody else. Why don't we bring in Big Ben Rothwell, dude?
Yeah, let's bring him in.
He put on a hell of a show the other night. Get that thing off the screen and let's get the
There
big
won't
man
be an
on.
intro here. We're just gonna bring you right on because it was like there we go. Hey, how are you?
Big
Can't
Ben.
hear you, Ben. You're muted on your side. You might have to unmute on the stage. There you go. Good. There you are.
Got it.
What's
Electronics
going on?
expert.
Hey, Ben.
What's up, Ben?
I was telling Mike didn't realize that you were in the role of Brian Sosha because on TV they were still playing the audio of Brian, so it seemed like he was still in the arena, but he was not there. Big Ben Rothwell was freaking running around that place like a madman doing your best, Brian. Like, what was that? We know that you have fought in front of 10,000 people like many times in your life, but have you ever had to hold a microphone and entertain them with a t-shirt cannon in your hand?
I mean, it's just a couple of times I got there with Brian. It was like my introduction to it. And I mean, he's running it. You know, he's on the mic. He's doing his thing. He'll ask me a question, you know, but I just get to do the fun part, run around, throw shirts around, hang out with people. And I was all alone. You know, I had to come up with some stuff to say to the audience. And I had to run the cannon, the shirt cannon, which I guess is a pretty big honor after the fact. I got the whole tidbit of that. So it was just such an awesome experience. The Texas crowd was absolutely amazing. I got so much love. All the champions that were there were talking about how well they were, you know, greeted. And we had some really, you know, big fights. I mean, the fights were incredible. So, yeah, there was a lot to unpack. You know, Texas was a hit. That's the end of the day. It was an absolute hit. And the state commission that was very hesitant about it asked, when are you doing another one? So, fucking home run.
That is a home. That's
awesome.
Beautiful. And I was telling Mike, and I don't know if you agree with me, dude, that arena, that was a nice ass arena. Like, did you go backstage and like look around? That place was.
Oh, the locker rooms were some of the nicest of all the venues we've been at so far. I mean, Wells Fargo Center, the locker rooms were very nice. I mean, it was every bit of a professional arena as you can get. You know, it was, you know, the locker rooms are even better than Denver. But that's, if you've been to the Denver one, that's the setup. You know, it was a solid crowd of people.
I was super impressed. Now, and the fights, like you said, the fights did not disappoint. Even from the prelims, man, with like there was a finish. The first one was a decision, but I think the Saucedo one was a finish. Cameron Delano got the finish. Willie Gates got the finish. There was like 4 or 5, 6 in a row that were all finishes. You gotta love that shit. And you being you, Ben, like, do you get super hyped up when you see like little guys like fucking Willie Gates out there with the blonde mustache, fucking just throwing haymakers like a madman?
Oh, it doesn't matter to me. You know, I'm always rooting for the women to get in there and do something like that. That was really cool. About, you know, flashback to you know, some of the past fights. 145-pound champ Borga, you know, getting a knockout. I think then they said it was like the first women's knockout.
Yeah.
And like, that's crazy, you know, but like, they can fight and they're just getting better. Any human being that's in there throwing down, I mean, I'm in it. You know, I'm cheering. It's awesome. I mean, it was Dubai where she got her belt. And that night there was you know, for lack of a better words, there was the big ripped, Middle Eastern representative looking the part. And then we brought in this, like, you know, he was a little bit shorter, chubbier, you know, Mexican fellow that nobody gave a chance. And the fight ended up being one of the best fights of the year, you know, one of the best fights of BKFC's history. Literally, it was such an awesome fight. You know, the first guy looks he's going to get ended, and then he just the chubby guy comes back and just puts on this awesome fight. So that's what I think. An exciting fight is an exciting fight.
That was Sabah Hamasi and Johnny Tello, right? That was the one. Like, we always heard about Johnny Tello, but Johnny Tello, if you ever follow him on Instagram lately, he's been doing a lot of hold one beer in one hand and fight with the other hand fights out in Thailand. He's been
Yes.
doing like
Some fight circus stuff.
Yeah, you have to hold your drink the whole time and fight with your other hand. He's a freaking nut. We have a comment in the comment section, which is great because I wanted to get your thoughts on this here. Tony Loco Soto says Rothwell needs to cut to 155 and fight me. Which
How do you cut to 155? How do you think that's possible?
Yeah, he cuts parts of me get cut off.
Yeah,
and then he fights like a fucking one-armed version of me, I guess.
You'd be like the dude
do you
in
even
Monty
think that
Python.
If you even cut yourself from the waist down, just your legs right off, would you even be 155 at that point?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then everybody there is like fucking, you know, like, do I look that fucking fat? And they're just like, oh my God, dude, you're so fucking big, you're so massive. Andre was like, you know, I had to put on a show. You know, I told him, like, hey man, we got to promote a fight. But in the back room, I've known him for so long. I've already battled the guy twice. You know, nothing but respect for him. He should already be in the UFC Hall of Fame. So we've had some good you know, back and forth. And he's like, you know, saying how big I am. I'm like, no, man, I'm this big. He's like, no fucking way. You're so big. And I'm like, and I was kind of like, yeah, just wait till I hit you, man. Like, it's not going to be like you remember. So there's a little bit of that. Big Tim, you know, Big Tim Sylvia was there. And,
dude,
you know, the guy's a monster. And all of a sudden I'm standing next to him. He's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, it was nice to see him. He is a monster, dude. It's funny because I had that story about seeing Arlovsky and Sylvia in the restaurant years ago, 20 years ago. And they almost got into a fight at the barbecue restaurant that I worked at. But
I mean, they legitimately hated each other. They were rivals for a period, of course. So obviously we grow up and, you know.
Grow up. You grow up, you mature a little bit.
Yeah, you get tired of dealing with dumb shit for no reason, right? You're just like, yeah, I'm not gonna fucking stand here and talk shit to this guy. We're chilling.
Well, they don't have. They're both out of it. They're, you know, both of them were at the top in the UFC. They were fighting for the belt, so that's legitimate reason not to like that other guy. Like he's trying to take what's mine, vice versa. Like it was legit, and then those two got, you know, took it into like kind of the Conor McGregor, like getting into their real life stuff. Fighting over a girlfriend, talking about their outside life. So, you know, they made it personal. You know, of course you're not going to like the guy. But then after 4 fights, they figured it out. And they're like, yeah, fuck it. We both made each other some good money. We've been good partners. So, you know, on with life.
Well, I'm going to just say this. And maybe you've known Andre Arlovsky for a long time. Maybe he just doesn't like people because when I was watching him, he's a very like he does not seem like
he's rough around the edges.
He plays the word stoic. Like it's funny when the UFC would, you know, and they would write about me like they're stoic Rothwell, and I was like, what does that mean? I used to kind of like get it, like I was just trying not to bother anybody, but like Andre lives that shit. Like he's got stone cold face, resting bitch face to the max, like. You know, but he'll tell you, like, he's like, yeah, if I don't like you, I don't like you. Like, that's that, you know, so I can appreciate where he comes from, you know, it's a no bullshit culture, and I dig it.
I was not even there, and I was getting messages from different people saying that he was a little rough around the edges.
Yeah, I mean, him and I are completely different in the back room, though. I, like, try to love everybody, you know, like, when you first meet me, I want everything to kick off right, you know, and I can't win everybody, you know, 9 times out of 10, though, everybody's happy to meet me and I'm happy to meet them. And Andre, like, he's the opposite. Like, he don't give a shit. Like, you know, it's just different.
Yeah, he was very hard to get a conversation with down there for sure. You said something when you got in the ring after his fight. We're going to talk about his fight, but what you said to him was, if you fight me like you just fought him, I will end your career. So break down his performance. It was his debut performance in a new sport. You had a debut performance in this new sport, and you ended Bobo O'Bannon in like 19 seconds. So what did you think about? And you also have history with Josh Copeland too, so you know how hard that dude's head is, and you know how tough he is. What were your thoughts on Andre's performance in the BKFC?
Truly, stylistically, he's developed a style that he's been using about the last 4 to 5 years, and he brought that style here, and it's just that style's not going to work against me. You know, he's like, hey, I don't want to get hit by some, you know, especially me. Like he got hit a couple times by Josh, and instantly set him into that. Like in the beginning, he was kind of loose, and as soon as Josh hit him a couple times, Andre instantly went back to the fighting style he's been using the last 5 years. Obviously, it's to not get hit, and he kind of turns more into point fighting. And point fighting is going to get you straight knocked the fuck out against me. I'll say it. I'm not talking shit. My proof is in the pudding. Watch my fights. They don't last long. Like, that's the way I'm handling bare knuckle.
Do you think that? I think he said in the post-fight press conference he would like to fight one more before he fights you in the sport. You think that's what they're going to do?
Yeah, I mean, the word is I'm thinking they're going to try to get him one by the end of the year. I'm supposed to fight in July, and my name's getting tossed around when, and hopefully it's soon. But I do believe I'm fighting super heavyweight. I get to have one super heavyweight fight, and then say we both do what we're supposed to do. I think that sets us up with early 2026 title fight that could probably draw a lot of eyes. I know Perdomo is obviously in the mix. People just don't understand how young he is, and like they're trying to build him up, and they put him against me or Andre, and he gets smoked. They got to like start all over, so they got to be really careful. And they say let him keep building up, because me and Andre fight, you take the winner, now you got a huge summer title fight, with Perdomo next summer or fall, whatever it is that they kind of work out. That being said, Perdomo's got to get past on, he's got a tough enough test with Adams.
Arnold Adams, yeah. That's a tough one. And this was supposed to happen right here.
Yeah.
From what we know, it's not happening anymore. Have you heard anything? Are they trying to salvage that, move it to a different spot in Australia, or have you heard anything?
It wasn't going to get done before it got done. They sold like $1 million in tickets. What a kick in the nuts, Lots of Australians were like apologizing, and they're like, we want it. Look at all the tickets they bought in 36 hours. So the government there is super selfish. Obviously, there's a whole, just like our government, and it's just the liberal side is extremely strong in Australia right now. And they seen an opportunity to tell the other side, hey, you wanted that? Well, we're going to show you that we can get it not wanted, and they kind of like pulled a power play, went at that state commission, and the commission said, all right, and they didn't really have a choice. They kind of like had to ban it, more or less. I guess that's what happened. They just straight up banned it.
It's fucking bullshit. And we say it all the time, and we're kind of like beating a dead horse, but the same areas that allow MMA are just like willy-nilly saying no to this shit. You know what I mean? They're just like fucking, without even like looking into it or anything, they're just saying no to it. But they'll let, that same weekend, they'll let somebody kick someone in between the eyes with a fucking shin bone, or, snap snap.
Yeah, it's all nonsense. They're hypocrites, and it's political, and it isn't actually what they're saying it is. I think it's something with like between the politics, somebody putting the middle finger up to the other side, and we happen to be the unlucky entity to get used to prove a point.
I think Doc Muzi said it really well when he came on the show. We had him on with a concussion specialist, and they were talking about all of the information that they've gathered over the years and what they basically show to all the commissions to try to get bare knuckle in every state. And he said to us, like, one of the things he says is, imagine football, right? You get a football, you kick it through the uprights to get the field goal. He said, now try to punch the ball through the uprights. He was like, imagine that. Imagine the power that you need to fucking kick a ball, even from the 25-yard line, through the uprights. And now just try to take your fucking fist and punch that shit through there. That's fucking, it's not happening. But in MMA, you can kick somebody in the goddamn head. But they allow that. Can't allow bare knuckle, though. Way too.
Well, you're trying to talk rational and use science. And that's the problem, is none of that was used. They don't want to look at it. Yeah. Because the states that are interested, like California, Texas, they looked at the science and they gave it a shot. And now here it is. It's legalized in the states. That's where people with rational minds are calling place. Where it isn't is Australia. And then the crazy part that I feel the bad BKFC is the state commission had approved it. Like, they sold 36 hours worth of tickets. Like, blows my mind. The resources that got wasted, the posters, the advertisement. Dude, it's just what a bah. And I got to be a main event. I finally worked myself in a position to be a main event. Of course, I was super excited. So I got another awesome opportunity taken from me, and It sucks, but I'm hopefully I get to make up for it not too long after that July date.
I hope they do. I hope they figure something out for you. And for Andrei Arlovsky, I saw someone there in the crowd that night. And I was shooting the shit with him a little bit, and he fought on the same card as you down in Philly. Pat Brady. What do you think about if Andrei Arlovsky wants one more fight before you, and they're trying to set one up before the end of you think a Pat Brady Arlovsky fight would be a good one?
Yeah, I mean, Pat was there. He was all about it. He was licking at the lips for the fight. You know, he feels kind of the same way I do. If Andre's going to be hesitant, you know, Pat's going to kind of cut right through that and put it on him. He thinks he's got his number. So there's obviously a fight that can get built.
Another heavyweight on the card was Kenzie Morrison. And I asked Kenzie in the post-fight press conference,
shouldn't fight heavyweight anymore.
I said, you're 217.
That's what we think too.
I said, you're 217. What do you think about dropping that 12 pounds down to 205 and making a run for that one instead? And his answer at the press conference was, I cut down so I could put on weight and be stronger for heavyweight. But I'm with you. I think he's too small.
He doesn't understand, especially my bare knuckle. My smallest training partners are right at his size. Those guys fight at 205, 185. I have 16-ounce gloves on. I can't hit them with half power. I'll double these guys. I hit them in the liver, the body. You know, I mean, they come hard. These dudes are strong. They will hurt somebody. I don't let them hit me. And when they feel it on my block that they try to get me, I got to put them down.
Yep.
You know, but I don't give them full power unless I'm going to hurt the guys. I'm not going to have training partners. Like, I still respect and value them. I hit them hard enough. And that's he doesn't understand that, like, there would be no hitting him hard enough. I'm going to hit him as hard as I can, and it would be, you know, near a fatality. I mean, it would be brutal what I would do if I had a clean shot at him in that weight. You know, mix up all 265, 270. This guy's going to come in at me at 220. Right. And a lean, railing, heavy, hydrated 220. Like, it's not the same.
Yeah, I think he would be well suited to go to cruiserweight.
I think him and Kamosi makes sense. Great fight.
Yeah, that division is in need of some more talent, you know, and I think he would fit right in there really well. He moves good. He's fast. You know, he's really light on his feet. And
have him do another, you know, test the weight out, test at 205, fight like one of the top 5. And if he does what he does again, then you got another guy to build for Kamosi.
Absolutely. That and nothing against that division. But I said it the other day. I said that is probably the shallowest division in the entire BKFC. I could probably name you 6 fighters that are fighting at cruiserweight. If I thought hard, I could probably come up with 12, but really they need new blood in that division. And Kenzie Morrison looks like he would fit right in there for sure. We got to ask you about the main event. Ben Bonner. And we were talking about, Mike was asking me about Tony's demeanor, and like Tony, he didn't seem like maybe he was fighting the same way he has, but even though he went to a 5-round war and put on him
in the first couple of rounds.
And I did say that Tony did seem a little aggravated going into this one. He was a little short fused heading into the fight. And it could have had to do with the multiple opponent changes. You being the pro that you have been for so long, how much does that fuck with you when you're training for Franco Tenaglia and then you lose him and then they say it's going to be Dan Chapman and then Dan Chapman's gone and now it's Ben Bonner all
Kai
in like
Stewart, Kai Stewart
all in like an 8-day period. How bad does that fuck with your mental?
I mean, and of course, every fighter is different. Every fighter is going to handle it differently. Even with none of that happen, and I like Kai Stewart a lot, but if you see right now, Tony Stewart and Kai Stewart, and Tony Soto and Kai Stewart, they got chips on their shoulders towards the organization and kind of everything else. So I do wonder. And in Dubai, Kai came out and he was like all angry at the event on Friday night, and I'm like, dude, you fight tomorrow. Like, what are you doing here right now? Like, go fucking relax. You know, and he's like, wow, he's fucking mad. I'm starting to see that, you know, that will, when I see a guy do that, it's like, I can almost put a large wager of money on they're going to lose. That their head is not in the right place. Kai Stewart, though, is like, he feeds off of it. He's proving it. He's showing me. He's like, he came in on Saturday night. He fucking came there to whoop ass. Like, he was mad. He's angry. He's got a chip on his shoulder. And it's that type of Mike Tyson. where like I'm the best that way too. When I can create a chip on my shoulder, I'm one of the most lethal human beings on this planet. There's no doubt about it. Some people feel good at that. Some, on the other hand, they get mad, they get angry, and they lose everything. They lose their timing. They get tired too quick. You know, they're so emotional and they're not feeling off it. They're distracted by it. And I do wonder if Tony kind of is on that. Where like he's very technical, and it seems like a thinker, and he does it. So if his emotions are running high and he's got all that going on to him, I would hate to say that it probably did mess with him. It did maybe take him off his game a little bit.
He did. I believe, and I think Mike just said it. I think he completely won the last 3 rounds. It was the 2 drops in the first 2 rounds that got the win for Ben Bonner. And now that's not taking anything away from Ben Bonner either, though. Ben Bonner took the fight on fucking 8 days' notice.
Yeah.
Shows up in Texas, doesn't put a shirt on the entire time he's in the state of Texas. He's walking around nipples out with a fucking gold chain on, talking about how he's going to shock the world. And he went out there and he did it. I was what are your thoughts on that fight as a whole?
Between those two.
Yeah, between those two. The main event.
Yeah. I mean, it was just another epic fight again. The 5 rounds is, again, it's one of those wars, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter the weight class. They put on a fucking incredible fight. Everybody's on their feet in the 5th round. I looked around the arena and I'm like, that's what we needed. That's the way to finish the show too. Unfortunately, in Dubai, we had a main event where people were leaving and the fight hadn't even ended yet. And that's really bad. You know what I mean? The judge's decision's about to get fucking called and half the arena's emptied. Not what I want to see, So
did you notice in Texas the other night? Did you notice that when the main event ended, the 2 fighters were in their corners waiting for the judge's decision, and half the arena emptied? I couldn't
because they knew
they want to get the hell out.
They knew the UK guy. No, I think it's because they knew the UK guy won. I honestly think that's what it was about. They wanted to be US proud. They were chanting USA in the crowd, so that triggered. Like I'm like, this crowd is very about that.
Fuck this.
Yeah.
And they were mad. They left angry. They didn't leave because it wasn't a good fight. They left because they were pissed off the USA guy.
They were pissed. Yeah. You knew mathematically they knew what the outcome was likely going to be. It just had to be. Without a knockdown in the last round, they knew. They were pissed. They're like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I can't hear this on the way home. I need to get out before they announce this winner or ruin their whole night.
I was hoping that Tony would get a drop in that last round to force a 6th, because we didn't get the 6th out in Spain against him and Tenaglia.
I know.
I was like, no, drop him so we can get a 6th. Just
this won't happen too often. They I figured they'd kick him out more. When it's close, fuck it. You got it in the contract. Do it.
Yeah.
It's an all or nothing route,
I love that. I love that part of the sport as well. And the one last one I wanted to ask you about was the girls' fight. You mentioned that you always look forward to the girls' fights. It was 2 debuters, 2 girls that had long MMA backgrounds, but they were. It seemed like they were both trying to figure out where they were at in that.
No, it just sucks. That's like probably the stinker of the night. You know what I mean? We had some really awesome fights, and then you get that one. You got Feldman yelling, "Fight! You got to fight!" Like, that's not good. And he's like yelling that order. Like, by the 2nd round, he's yelling that. It's like, oh man, they made all the noise at the weigh-ins, and it's just like to not follow it up with a good fight. It was another point fight, a lot of hugging. That's not the fights we want to see. And then I had to get into the ring right after and be like, "Hey, Texas, how exciting is this?" They're like, "Fuck you, fuck that shit."
Oh man.
Well, the good thing is that Jessica I seem to really love it, though. She seemed to really love it, so I do think she's going to be back. And I don't know.
Whose weight class is that going to be?
This one was at 125, so I think they could go. I think they could go down, to be honest with you.
Yeah, she's not taking on the champs. Not with that performance. She's got to definitely figure some stuff out.
She actually said when I did my post-fight interview with her, she said that she had a hard time figuring out her footing. She's like, it was a totally different experience in there, but I'm here for it. She's like, I did have a good time. I had to figure out my footing, but I'll be better next time. And She
Yeah,
does
it
not
happens
want
a
to be
lot.
fast tracked to a title. She did not. She actually said it. She was like, I would like, 2 or 3 more fights before we start talking about that. So
It happens a lot. I feel like a lot of people, they go out there and they don't do well. You think they're going to do a lot better than they do, and they go out there, and even though they win, they just don't seem to do well. And then in the next fight, sometimes the people, like, you're like, holy shit, what the hell? Because who the hell was it that I thought was like, I'm trying to think. Palomino, right? So when Palomino fought, God damn it, I'm forgetting his name here. The champ, the ex-champ, he just let go of the belt.
Trout.
Austin Trout. When he fought Austin Trout's first fight against Diego Sanchez, we were in Albuquerque, and I was like, oh, he's fighting Sanchez, is a little older. I thought he was gonna like beat the fucking brakes off him, which I guess he won, but it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. So when they said he was fighting Palomino second, I was like, Palomino's gonna fucking kill this guy. He's going in here. Palomino's 9-0. He's number 1 pound for pound. And then he fucking ran circles around Palomino and beat him for the belt. I was like, what the fuck happened here? I thought he didn't do that well. And then all of a sudden he beat the number 1 pound for pound guy. So I'm like, well, what the fuck? It really surprised me. And that happens a lot. It really does. My apologies for forgetting his name for a second.
So you just feel like they just need to get that one fight out of their system, and then they can show what they really can do.
I do. I think that some people like go in and they think it's going to be like boxing, and Austin Trout, like, he's like, oh, I'm a boxer, I can just get in there and box. And then he finds out
real quick, I'm going to stop you.
different.
What did you mean he handed the belt or dropped the belt?
He just let go of the belt. He was the
He vacated.
He vacated the belt. Yep. So he was the champ after he beat Palomino, and he defended his title against Franco. And now he actually vacated the 165, and he's going down to 155, and they're going to do a tournament at 155.
He's still champ. Yeah. He's just got rid of the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said he doesn't want to fight at 165 anymore.
Yeah.
Yep. So he's another one in the mix in that 155 division that has Luis Palomino and Tony Soto and Franco Tenaglia and Ben Bonner. Now you could add fucking Austin Trout to the mix.
Now there's this tournament that's going to take place, and who's going to decide who gets in that?
Good luck with those. Good luck to those guys, man, because everybody wants it. If I had to say it right now off the top of my head, it would be those guys. It would be Palomino, Trout, Soto, and Tenaglia. Those 4. But if Tenaglia is gone, maybe you throw Kai Stewart in there. But if it's not Kai Stewart, Bryce Henry. Those are the guys that I would want to see. Because you're not going to have the reigning champ in there, right? Ben Bonner's not going to be in that tournament, is he?
He shouldn't be.
No, he's the interim, and they said he had to go in the tournament. So I know that's what I'm wondering. The 4 fight to find out who fights him to unify, or he's got to come into the tournament and defend himself in a tournament.
I know. They should just change the belt, take it away. No interim, because the champ is not the champ anymore.
They had something to show off. Let me tell you, the interim belts and the European belts don't weigh like my belt, so I know I got the real thing.
They're a lot lighter.
It's much lighter. Yeah.
Everybody that hands my belt, like, oh my, they're like, oh my god, like, it's got to be 30-some pounds. Like, it's like literally going to the gym and putting a weight on the bench or squat. It's like a freaking weight. It's wild. And then the weights that they had at Texas, the silver ones, I'm like tossing around. It's like feathers. So yeah, it's pretty wild how they did that.
Yeah, it's definitely the newer belts are way like the real deal. What is it? 4 plates. So right, Kyle, is it 4 plates?
Yeah,
there's different ones. There's 2 plates on each side. Is that the one you have? 2 plates on each side, and then it's got the centerpiece, and it's very heavy.
Like
that's
pounds,
like the
right?
legit.
Yeah, it's heavy.
That's the legit world title. That's
little kids like fall over and stuff trying to hold it.
Yeah, it is heavy. It's surprising how heavy it is.
You got the other Lorenzo Hunt used to walk around with it around his neck.
A whole bunch of them.
Yeah, he'd wear around his neck, around his chest, and around his waist. He'd be walking around with all these belts.
He'd have 90 pounds of belts on it.
I very much enjoy. Listen, I'll bring it to a showing or something. The organization wants me to, or some fans want to see it. Cool, but I enjoyed walking around Texas doing my thing, and I didn't need the belt, but everybody knew, and that's a cool feeling.
That is a cool feeling. Finally, someone's recognized like that. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
I'm going to switch the conversation up real quick, because before Texas, just a week before Texas, we had Connecticut. and there were some heavyweights on that card, and we should talk to you about the heavyweights there because one of them is in the top 5. The other one is
passed on one good fight in Texas, though. What about Garrett?
teetering.
Yes,
Garrett.
Garrett.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
You know what?
3-0. Dude's in the mix.
He's
Yes.
3-0 with 3 first-round finishes too. He's looked good, and he's like, you know what's funny about him? He's he's the warrior of God. That's his nickname, and he said a prayer with Hayes Wilson. Is that his name? Hayes Wilson. His opponent.
Hayes the
night.
hooligan.
Yeah, Hayes the hooligan. He says a prayer with him when you guys are getting ready to make the walk. You know, one guy's walking and the other guy's like on deck on the stage right behind like the screen there. My cousin and her husband were sitting near the walkway, and her husband Pete says, "Dude, this guy looks so fucking nervous. He's gonna get killed in there." I'm like, "Who?" And it was Garrett getting ready to walk out, and I'm like, "Oh, he's not nervous." I'm like, he's just like a calm in like his own zen, like he's a real like zoned in guy. He looked like he was almost like he looked like he was meditating back there. And Pete thought he looked like he was nervous as fuck. I was like, nah, man, this guy's a savage. 2-0, 2 knockouts, just folded LeVar Johnson in his last fight. I'm like, this is you don't be surprised if he gets a knockout when he goes in there and then he goes in there.
Yeah, people don't ever learn. You can't judge a book by its cover, especially a guy's out to his walkout. And people are like, oh, he looks scared, or he looks this, or he looks that. And then the dude ends up whooping ass. And you get other people that act whatever, and they get their ass kicked. It's just, I've learned, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, he did look great. And I'm sorry we skipped over him. I forgot about that fight.
Yeah, what about him versus Watson?
So you got Watson, you got Parker Porter.
That's what I was going to bring up. Those gentlemen, these two guys right here, we had them face off at Tom's Watch Bar after the fights. This was taken at 1:33 in the morning. 1:33 a.m. We had them face off.
Well, they're like the same height and everything.
Yeah, they're pretty close actually. I think actually I have another. Yeah, they're very close to the same height.
Yeah, so there's a brawl.
Yeah, I think this would be a good next matchup actually for where they stand, because I'd say Porter stands around. He's probably number 6 or 7.
No, Porter's only got 2 fights though, right? He's 2-0.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And Garrett and Watson are 3-0 right now.
Yep.
Yeah, there's options out there, man. I mean,
the top. You want to know the
Well, then we got Adams and Perdomo are fighting, so that's going to clear up something.
Right. Pat Brady's number 5. Number 4 is Josh Watson. 3 is Perdomo. 2 is Arnold Adams, and 1 is Mick Terrell. So Adams and Perdomo being 2 and 3, they're fighting each other.
Yeah, where does Mick? Does Mick fight one of these guys here? Like, what are we going to do with him?
Well, that could be it. Maybe it could be Josh Watson and Mick Terrell.
Watson keeps. Let's just clear this up. Watson keeps. Oh, Ben thinks I'm worthy and blah blah blah. Stop. That is not how this works. This is not whatever fantasy land. I don't go to Feldman like, this is the way it is and this is what I'm doing. Like, no. I sit and train, and then Feldman and the company go, hey, here's your fight. This is who we want. I go, okay. Like, that's it. Like, Watson, you got to go to Mr. Feldman. You got to go to the company. You got to go to them and say, this is what I want. This is who I want to fight. And you also got to get the fans behind it. Now, he's got a good little clique of his Vegas people that follow him. They definitely are heavy on the internet. But you got to do something more. Like, direct that shit. Get your manager calling, talking. But saying stuff to me online is not doing anything at all in the slightest.
Well, the conversation is good though, because just the fact that there's options out there now, like they've been having a hard time building up the heavyweight division, just like they were there were certain weight classes that they were a couple of years ago. 145 absolutely sucked. It was the worst fucking division in the company. Now
a whole bunch of great fights.
Now they have they have 50. They have like a top 15 in the 145.
One of your comments goes, "Does Mick get a rematch?" I hope my whole spiel just now cleared that up. Like, if they were like, "You got to fight Mick," send the contract. Like, there's no. It's always a yes from me. Like, it doesn't. They got to understand. It's always a yes, whatever it is. You got to get them to send me opponent, set the date. That's it. Me fighting Australia, I was fighting a guy nobody's even heard of because he's from Australia, and he has 3 people that backed out on him already. Like, there's some intrigue there. A whole bunch of Australia fans are going to come watch that guy fight.
Ben,
a
the person
monster,
who
too.
asked that question, by the way, you may have met him more than one time. He's a super fan, works for the company occasionally. Big Ben. We changed his name because you're Big Ben and he's Big Ben. So we had to change his name to
Big Ben
Large.
316.
Yeah, we call him Large Benjamin now. That's his new name. He can't be Big Ben, so we gotta call him Large Benjamin. So he needs to change his name.
Is he sometimes, or is he at every show?
He's not at every show, but he's at every one of our shows. That's for sure.
You better pick it up, Big Ben. You better represent better.
You
Get
guys
your
took a
ass to
picture
every
with each
show.
other.
Do some work.
You guys met each other in Denver at BKFC 41. I took a picture of you two on the stage. I'll try to find it while we chat here. But I do want to bring up this comment here from who this guy. This is the Legends Never Die podcast, but it's actually Coach BKFC, bare knuckle coach, I should say, Ryan Perez. Do you know Ryan Perez? If you saw him, you might know who he is. He coaches like Bryce Henry, lots of fighters that you probably know he coaches, and he's always in Florida. He says, what I like most about Big Ben is he's actually a fan of the sport, not like these other guys from UFC that don't give a fuck about the sport and just come for a check and bounce. And I do have to agree with him that you love the sport. When we talk to people, even he points out UFC people. I don't think it's just UFC people. Some people just don't promote the sport. They don't understand that promoting the sport and themselves at the same time is good for them. It's not just fight and just disappear. You got to be a fan of it. You gotta live and breathe this thing if you want it to succeed. And I really think if more people did what you do, that the sport would be even more popular than it is now. You know, if everybody kind of just put it out there all the time.
I appreciate you for noticing, and all I can do is do what I'm doing. It always starts from the top. So I got a lot of guys that are looking in my direction, and I got to show them an example. You know, if I'm out there smugging the fans and acting like a fuck, well, then we get more of the UFC. So I want something different, and I want us to be a fan-friendly atmosphere that excites the crowds and the athletes that are there to watch. We're available, and that's what we got at Texas. You know, I put myself out there, and so many cool compliments and photos of people putting like how good it was to that I was just available. You know, the heavyweight champ of the organization's out here throwing out shirts to us. I've never been to an event where a heavyweight champ was throwing out anything. So I just try to put myself in their place and think that's a pretty cool experience, you know. And the kids, Salt Lake City, Texas, even when I'm seeing 5, 6, 7-year-olds, even 10-year-olds, but parents, families are bringing children to the barbaric, bloody, you know, fest that it is. It's not. This is an entertainment. It's excitement. This is a true sport. It's skill, and it's all of those things. And people come and get excited. And it was awesome that, you know, the families and people entrust us to come and give us a shot. And, you know, it wasn't a home run. It was a grand slam. That's how I feel.
Like you just said, everybody falls in love with it. My cousin Stacy, I already mentioned her before with Pete. Stacy is not into fighting at all. She's not into violence. She's not into combat sports. She's like, I don't know if I'll like it. I'm like, just come out. My wife doesn't sit down and really watch fights either, but she knows what I do, and she'll come to the Mohegan. She came to the first Mohegan Sun event, loved it. She's gone to all 3 of them now. And the last one she had the most fun at. And she tells my cousin over the phone, just go. You're going to fucking love it. Trust me. I didn't think I was going to like it either. Stacy, about 4 fights into the night, she had a few drinks at that point. She was getting a little buzz on. She goes, Kyle, I like this way more than I don't like how much I'm liking this. That's what she said. I don't like how much I'm liking this. I was like, I told you you're going to love it. And by the end of the night, she had the fucking best time ever. She thought it was great. And her husband's all in too. He was like, this shit is legit as fuck.
Yeah, it's happening. Every live event, I'm hearing more and more of these stories. When I fight, it's cool to hear these stories about when all these groups of friends of mine have their home parties. You know, they said most of the women at the UFC events, they're like, dude, halfway in, dude, they're talking to each other. They don't watch the fights. They're like falling asleep before the main event gets on. Dude, the BKFC, they were like on their feet yelling at the screen. They're like through the main event. I'm like, that's it. There we go. That's making fans with everybody. I'm like, you can't beat that.
No, you can't. Right, it is awesome. Right here we have Large Big Ben. Here we are. There you guys are. at the BKFC 41 in Tom's Watch Bar, by the way, at the press conference.
Look at the size of large Benjamin's head.
Yeah, Ben wanted to point out that you were on a step. I was like, what the hell is he talking about on a step? He's mad that you're taller. He's mad that you're tall. You're both big and Ben, and he's upset.
Yeah, he really takes that Big Ben home, huh?
Yeah. He's very sad about.
I can just be
big, and you're big
Ben.
too.
You could just be Ben. That's fine.
He's gonna let you have it. He's gonna let you have it.
Listen, we always appreciate you jumping on here. We're gonna wrap it up with you because we're gonna talk about some other hot shit that's going on the internet, and I feel like you're gonna want to tune in. But before we let you go, do you have anything else that you want to say to anybody that was like tuned in and over the weekend in Texas or the brass or any of the heavyweights out there?
Or something we didn't bring up.
I think we covered a lot, man. We got it out there. We talked about Andre and talked about the whole heavyweight division. Obviously, I'm BKFC. You know, I'm company man. I love it. They brought me out to, like you said, not just come watch. I came out there to work. So obviously, things are going in the right direction, and I'm just excited to get another fight with the company soon.
I hope it's sooner than later, Big Ben. It's always great to see you. It was good to see you in Texas. You did a great job. I said it before, but it can't be that easy getting the crowd hype. Brian Sosha does it fucking so well, and you did a great job the other night. So appreciate you coming on.
Just want to do whatever I could do, you know. So I appreciate it. I'm glad it went well. Thank God.
All right, big man. Mike, you got anything else for
I'm just sad I missed it. I'm sad that I missed it. And now that I know that you were there doing the Brian Sosha role, that's great. I mean, I didn't know at all. I had no idea because I heard Brian yelling. I thought he was there.
You guys got what? We got what? 2 minutes? Hey, I'm watching this chat right here. Anybody on there got a quick question for me or something?
Yeah, put some questions in the chat. You want to know what Big Ben
they're gonna get sick of me real quick. I can tell.
We can go back to Big Benjamin real quick. He did point out the fact that both of you are Big Ben and you both have a wife named Jen. So that's pretty coincidental.
Ben's and Jens are drawn together.
Ben's and Jens and BKFC. Oh, it's a wonderful thing. That is pretty funny, actually.
I've been with mine 24 years. How long you been with yours?
24 years, Ben. Can you beat that?
Yeah, I've been in the Army for 24 years. That's crazy.
Damn, 24.
I joined the Army when you got married, Big Ben.
I'm about to hit 17 years.
Question for you from DJ Tony wants to know who you got winning this fight coming up July 12th, Perdomo versus Adams.
Okay.
You know, it is a tough call. I've been watching the fight. I said, I really hope Adams trains hard. I think his biggest drawback is not having cardio. Perdomo is all about first round. You know, that's all he talks about. I think Adams is skilled enough and slick enough and big enough that he can get past that first round, bring this kid into some rounds, really see what he's made out of. And, you know, Adams is no small guy. He's a big boy, too. He can hit hard. So put it on this dude. I think if he lands some shots through, he can really, you know, break the hype train. If he goes out there silly with his hands down, lets this dude throw full power in the first round, yeah, it's probably going to end up for Perdomo. But I think if Adams can really use his jab, use his distance, use his size, I think we're going to see Perdomo's a lot more human than people are willing to admit.
All right, we got a couple more. This guy was one of the fights of the night the other night. Rodney Hinton, that fight was insane, right? Rodney Hinton won unanimous decision the other night. He came out in the Hannibal Lecter mask and everything. What do you got? Any advice for the rising stars coming up?
Yeah, can't just do a mask. You gotta say something with it. You gotta do something. Some of my biggest wins in the UFC, people don't talk about that I used the cool choke and tapped him out. They don't talk about the knockout. They talk about me dancing around. They talk about me laughing. It's those things that like you break out of the mold. Everybody, it's always a knockout. It's always a knockout. It's always a knockout. Do something different. Get on the mic and say some crazy shit. Show us your personality. Don't try to be Conor McGregor. Be you. Make a you. What is it you? Make something new. People want to see the new star. So you got to go out and be it.
Love it. And one more. We got one more, Mike. Here we go. Jake Heffernan says, Ben, when can we smoke some cigars together?
Next time you run into me at an event, I'm not fighting that week or after a fight.
Yeah,
Gotta have some scotch to go with it. It better be 21 year or older.
There you go.
Damn.
You know, hey, and we were talking about the 155 division. That's another 155 right there. Jake Heffernan's on the scene too. That fucking division's growing too. Awesome shit, Ben. We always appreciate you, and I can't wait to see any fight news coming up for you. Are you going to be out in Sturgis?
It's a maybe. Florida is a maybe. So it's got to kind of see how the chips fall the next couple of weeks.
All right. Well, maybe we'll see.
You know, if I can be there and everything works out, I will. Love
yeah.
being with the fans. Love being at the shows. So
awesome shit, Mike. You got anything else for Big Ben?
Ben, love when you come on. I was very excited to hear that you wanted to join us tonight because I do like. I've been telling Kyle this. He knows. I'm like, yeah, we do all these fighter interviews, but it'd be nice just to get, a fighter on and then just recap an event or something, or talk about the latest and greatest, latest news, BKFC news, behind the scenes stuff. Like, that's fun. I think this was fun, and we should do it again sometime soon.
Cool, guys. It's always fun to stop in. So good stuff.
Awesome.
All right, my friend. We'll
Thanks
talk
to everybody
later.
in the chat. Thank you guys for doing what you do. Always perpetuating the sport, blowing it up. We wouldn't be here without you. So thank you.
Thanks a lot, Ben.
Man. Take it easy, man. Later.
So,
well, that was cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was
Big
pretty
Ben's
neat. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, Ben's a good dude. He is just like a really like we just freaking talked about for an hour. He is all in on the sport. He's all in. He said I will become the world champion and I will become the biggest ambassador of this sport. That was fucking cool. And he's doing exactly what he said he's going to do. So now we are going to discuss some breaking news today on the interwebs that got everybody all fucking hot and bothered. Do you want to play the
You want
to play the original video that was on the app, and then
all right. Okay, so
if
you're here and you're watching, you probably already know what happened today. And I personally think it's been blown so far out of proportion that it's like crazy. But it's a good thing. And honestly, it's good for both companies because everyone's talking about this happening. Like it's this big episode, and it became a big episode. Now we're even talking about this because this gentleman is a champion, was a champion, whatever you want to call it, in BKFC. Alberto Blas is no longer with BKFC, right? So
do you want to show the graphics first? You want to do the graphics first?
Yeah, we can do that. Okay,
so this is what we're talking about right here. So we get the press release this morning, and that's what it said. The press release from the BKFC was that they have cut ties with Alberto Blas, the reigning 135-pound champion, due to unprofessional conduct outside of the ring. I shared this. I put the word released. The press release said cut ties. I said the word release. Apparently the word release got fucking people spun up on the internet like some fucking wackos. But we have a responsibility to uphold the integrity of our promotion and the sport as a whole. That was from BKFC president David Feldman himself. There were multiple incidents that had happened outside of the sport that people have heard about. Anybody with the internet can Google his name and find some things on the internet, right, Mike?
Oh yeah, you can Google, you can find.
You can Google, you can find. You can Google, you can find.
I don't know the details and all the things, but so this is part of the story, right? Because he fights and he wins the title and he fights again, and we haven't seen him forever. So since that happened, okay, which we're gonna get into too, because there's some things that were said that are definitely not true, which is kind of funny. But the thing is that we're even us, like people who know us and watch the show, like we try to be as unbiased as possible. And yes, we cover BKFC because that's who took care of us. That's where we went. That's what takes up all our time. And we love the sport. This is what we've been doing. But even us, we're fans, and sometimes we don't know what the fuck is going on. So we're like, where the hell is Blas, right? Granted, we already kind of knew a situation that happened, but we didn't realize the what was going on after that. And we'll get more into that in a second. But like, then we start hearing the history. But I really thought that what we're talking about, and you can Google it, right? Because I don't know the details. I don't know what happened in court. But I do know that some crazy ass shit happened with Blas, and people were talking about it like it was a little more recent, and that there was some other events that went down too. So like, we're like, where the hell is this guy? And then we start hearing through the grapevine, like, I don't know, he might not be able to be fighting anymore. Definitely not at the Hard Rock, and not over here and over. Like, maybe he won't fight again. So like, we just hadn't seen him forever, and then all of a sudden, all this shit goes on, and I'm like, what the hell? What the fuck
Right.
is going on?
So if you Google his name, fuck it, man. I'll just tell you what you're gonna find, because if you Google the guy's name, he had a pending attempted murder charge against him while he was fighting. Right? I don't know if they knew it or they didn't.
I have no idea.
I don't know if they knew it or if they did, and they gave.
I didn't know
or giving him or if they were giving him a shot to make a fucking make a dollar. But either way, the guy is fighting. He's got an attempted murder charge against him at the time. There are stories out there of him, and anybody who's been around the sport and seen it, like showing up late, acting unprofessional. I heard a story about him possibly throwing a chair at somebody at an event. So there's all that. So then the release statement comes out. He had signed with the BKB, right? Or is it
it's BKB
YB?
now.
BKB.
No, it's BKB now.
So he signed with BKB, and now BKB is all fired up on the fucking thing. Just please hold, you will see. So they put out a statement, right? So they put out this statement. Mike, what does that say? Because it's really small.
Okay, so I'd like to address the unfortunate accusations made against me today in the light of my signing with BKB Bare Knuckle Boxing by David Feldman, the one-time owner and one-time face of BKFC. I mean, he's still the owner. He's still the president of the company. He still is. He's not the one-time, but he still is. And yes, he does share the company with some people. Let's see. So he says, my record's not spotless. I stand by my reputation and wish to call this out for what it is, an insecure individual trying to save face while the company he built and subsequently sold off continues to spiral downward. There are two incidents that come to mind for which I'm sure that Mr. Feldman is referencing. The first occurred in 2022, which is the one we were just talking. That's the Google. Since that time, I was signed by the organization, which he was. And that's the thing, too, is I thought it was more recent, but then I found out it was back in 2022. So I don't know if it was pending or what. I don't know the details. He fought for them 6 times, which is true. And he beat the hell out of everybody, basically, and knocked them all out in the first round. So, and was promoted and heralded as their champion, which is correct.
Which is great. And he was great, too. He was a great fighter. Let's not fucking take that away from him.
No. And then he says, in a more recent incident, now, guys, take note of this paragraph.
Drink this one in.
Here's the thing, and this is the problem with this type of shit, right? Is like, just be honest about what happens. Or I would personally not even bring this up. If it was me, I wouldn't even have put this in. But it is what it is. In a more recent incident occurring at the Hard Rock, I was provoked in the locker room, locker room. Remember that. But was the bigger man and walked away, only to be followed through the casino. Threatened and harassed, I was told by my provocateur, which is a word I will 100% guarantee he did not use the word provocateur, that when he saw me in the street, he would kill my ass and reacted and defended. Who the fuck used the word provocateur, dude? I don't think I've ever heard anybody use that word. Anyways, like, what is this? That's ridiculous. Nobody uses the word provocateur. Anyways. Basically, he's just saying neither of these incidents rose to the level of suspension or reprimand by Feldman to what power he still wields or BKFC while I was in the organization. So I can't confirm or deny that. I have no friggin' idea. I was just wondering, and as was Kyle, is where is this guy and when he's going to fight again?
Right.
None of these things.
So he hasn't fought since that night. Right.
Yep. None of these things have been spoken of since I fought for the organization in September 2024. The only reason they're mentioned to this very day is because the signing with my bigger and better organization reflects poorly on a man's fragile ego. So I will not be defamed or bullied. If there was something I had done that warranted disciplinary action, Mr. Feldman should have taken such action when he had the power and authority to do so. There wasn't, so he didn't. So this is a very personal thing, right? And we're not going to get into the personal shit because, to be honest with you, I have no idea what the hell these guys do behind the scenes. I don't know what his contract is. I don't know when it ended. I don't know when he was released. I don't know when BKB started talking to him. I don't know when they signed. I don't know any of that shit. Neither does Kyle. We have no fucking idea. The guy just stopped fighting. He didn't fight since the Rebirth thing. But something did happen at the Rebirth thing that paragraph that we pointed out, that is, I mean, the entire thing you're going to find out in a second. You can figure it out for yourself by watching the video.
All right. So Mike, play the first video where he looks off to the left. And I want you guys to watch the first video. And this was the video filmed for the promotion, like
it's like a behind the scenes after the fight video.
And at the very end, you will see Blas like look
to the left.
All right.
And then the video ends, right?
Yeah.
So here we go.
Thank you so much. Right now, I'm the champ and I'm the fan ready. And less than 3 months. And I'm gonna be ready December. Okay? I'm gonna be ready. Give me more opportunity, give me more fight. I'm gonna be ready. Okay? Thank you, BKFC. Thank you so much.
So, yeah, at the very end there, he looks over to the left. Now, I'm about 10 feet behind them walking, and I already was recording because that's what I do. I record everything, and then I use like 1% of 800 hours of fucking film and pictures I have, right? So we're still recording. Now, I walk in right behind them. They just walk through the doors, which goes into a hallway in the back where they do the the post-fight press conference rooms to the right. And when I walk in, you'll see I run into somebody who, you know what? I think we might even owe this to him at this point, but we run into Merc Season. He's there. And I actually say hi to him, and then it goes from there. So I'm going to play this video, and then we're probably going to have to play it again and talk about it. So let's play the video, and then you guys think about
Here you go, boys. Here you go, everyone.
So before I play this video, right, real quick, I'm just going to say I was provoked in the locker room, but was the bigger man and walked away only to be followed through the casino and threatened and harassed, okay? So think about that when you watch this video, and you tell me if that was the truth.
What is wrong with that, man? Hey, calm down, Baldy. Calm down, Baldy. We'll give him for the press conference when he's done. No. Take it up. Hey. Police, stop. Police, break it up. Police, break it up. Straight back, guys. Don't ruin a great fucking night, man. Ignore that shit. I know. Enjoy what you did. No, I'm golden, bro.
Okay, here's the picture still there. So was he A, provoked in the locker room, B, bigger man walked away, C, followed through the casino and threatened and harassed? I'm not sure if any of those things happened. You tell me. So it's really the only thing is I can't deal with liars, man. This dude is lying about that whole episode. We have the whole fucking thing on video. I've had it for a fucking year. I hid the whole shit. But
there was no plans to ever have that video see the light of day. But the way these guys acted today on the internet was so fucking ridiculous. And then they put out this statement that is a complete lie.
That whole shit was bullshit.
That was the thing that, like, man, we kind of gotta do it, man. We gotta do it because we can't take liars, bro. We can't.
Listen, he defended himself by jumping Merc, who wasn't even coming at them. They did talk shit to each other. Period. They did. They were yelling at him. This is not enough.
Okay,
he just said, "Hey, Baldy, calm down,
Another
Baldy."
paid advertisement. Another paid advertisement. This show is not paid, bro. We are independent. This is not a paid advertisement.
Hey, that's truth. The truth is in the video.
That is the truth.
It is what it is.
Truest shit ever. I'm telling you right now.
That's it.
That video
Truth
would
is
have
in the
never.
middle. You can make
That
up what
video
it
would
is.
have never seen the light of day if that bunk ass statement didn't get put out. That Chat GPT provocateur statement didn't come out this
It
afternoon.
was, listen, that's it. That's really the most beef I have with the whole thing, because here's the thing, like, Merck was there. He did get, obviously you saw what happened in the video, and for the longest time, he's been like, dude, like, I can't get a fight. Like, he got hurt from this incident, and we're like, yo, like, we don't know what the fuck to do. And, hey, listen, the guy, he acted like he defended himself. I mean, listen, he could have just walked away. It is what it is. That whole paragraph is definitely a lie, though. The rest of the shit, can't comment on it. I don't know about it.
Listen, I'm going to read word for word from the press release that we got. When it said, and it says BKFC parts ways with 135-pound champion due to unprofessional conduct. I'm going to skip down two paragraphs to what Feldman said. We have a responsibility to uphold the integrity of our promotion and the sport as a whole. There were multiple infractions that went into this decision. We wish him well in his future. And that is what I shared in the description of the freaking post today. They didn't say, go fucking rot somewhere else. I wish you well. I wish him well in his future. They said it right there. That was a professional thing to do. They released it, but some people just can't be professional. It's pretty crazy how some people conduct themselves. And I see no lies in multiple infractions. When you just go to Google and Google his name and you hear the stories and then you see that is all true stuff, and it is what it is. And now you cannot deny it. So they had a great reason to cut ties with this guy. He was the reigning champion, so they did release him. It may not have happened today. It happened a couple weeks ago, but I
have no idea. All I know is that paragraph is definitely not true. That's not true. We saw it with our very own eyes. We were there. We saw what happened. Merck got a little fucked in the whole process. There's actually a woman that almost gets caught against the door, which if you rewatch it, you'll see her kind of fall, and she finally gets out of there. But here's the thing, would it have been hard just to walk back to the fucking locker room and just chill after winning the fight like that? Because, I mean, the guy was on a roll, but it is what it is. But all the other stuff, listen, I get it. Let's see here. We've got a couple of comments. I know that, let's see, someone who never comments, never watches the show, but of course he's in here just yapping away. Sean Ulrich. Never comments, never says anything, hasn't talked to us for years, but because BKB got brought up, he's in here just bap, 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 bap. Okay, great. Yes. Okay. I agree with you. Other people have done some fucked up shit and they're still with the sport. Not my choice, man. I don't know. Do I agree with it? No. You know what I like? The rule of law, my friend, and acting like a civilized human being. And if you can't do that, then in my book, you're probably got to go. But listen, I don't make the fucking rules, man.
The comment that he put about Howard and Duran, how does he know that they didn't get penalized and it was a one-time thing?
Yeah, we watched that video. We showed that video too.
We showed that video on this show.
We did. We talked about it.
Yeah. We had that footage as well. We're not fucking picking on one person. We will share all
two comments. Yes, Sean, you haven't commented or watched our show for literally 3 fucking years. Now all of a sudden he's tagging us on Instagram, talking he didn't say a word, and neither did Mike Vasquez for the entire show. That's 1 hour and 23 minutes. And then the second that friggin' video played, they were there. Bap, 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 bap. Sleep tight. Keep your buttholes. Sleep tight, keep your buttholes tight. Have a great night.
So there it is, guys. That was the story. Things happened. Don't be
mad at us.
People's
man.
feelings got hurt.
Anybody.
People's feelings got hurt. We just
I don't even know. Here's the weird. You know what's weird is how mad everybody's getting.
Yeah.
Because facts came out. And that's what's really funny to me. I didn't fucking make Blas jump anybody. I didn't make those guys do that. We didn't make those guys run into each other. That shit just happened, dude. We have the video. We showed you. You could think however you want about it. The dude might be a little bit of a douchebag. We'll just have to admit it. You know what I'm saying? He's got he's got a little bit of a record here. He's got a little bit of precedence, and it is what it is. Did BKFC let him go because of that incident? I have no friggin' idea. I don't know.
No, they let him go because of
No idea.
multiple. It says it right in the press
That's
release.
that's what they said.
It says they let him go because of multiple.
But I don't know.
Multiple infractions.
I wasn't there.
It says it right there. Multiple infractions. Listen, they're running a business, and if they don't, if you're running a restaurant and one of your best waiters is fucking getting in fights with people in the kitchen every other fucking day of the week, you're gonna fire the guy. You know what I mean? He might be your best earner. He might be the guy that brings in the most customers. But the second or third time he throws a fucking tray at somebody in the kitchen or punches somebody in the face, you gotta get fucking rid of him. It's a business. You cannot have unhinged people around dragging your business down.
And I have to say this too. After that incident, I flew home. It was a Sunday. At about 9:15 at night, I get a call from Nelson. And Nelson's like, hey, the casino sees you on video. There was an incident and you're the only one back there recording. So I'm like, okay, what's that mean? He's like, they're super pissed. They're investigating. They want to press charge, all this other shit, crazy shit. They want the video and all this. I'm on the goddamn phone for almost an hour with like 8 people, the head of security, the fucking this dude, that person, Nelson, all these other people talking about how much of a crazy incident this was in the back and how they are pissed off and might not want BKFC and they're just mad at the whole thing. So I'm like, dude, I'm like, listen, I just recorded the whole thing and I don't fucking know. Like, the guys get into a fight. They're fighters. This is the shit that happens. We've seen it many times. We've seen people fight outside the ring, but man, they were not happy. And I don't know. That could have definitely swayed them into not having him fight after that. I don't even know if he was allowed to come into the Hard Rock. Now, that's just speculation. I have no idea, but I do know that on the phone, there was a lot of people on that fucking conference call that I got fucking pulled into by Nelson, and they were not fucking happy. They were not happy. They were like, they wanted to know who he was. They wanted to know why it happened. And you know, they've had a lot of BKFC and bare knuckle events there. I even think that BYB's actually gone before. So, but they were not happy about that. That fight in the back, when that happened
down there, dude.
Because what happened there was, if you watch that video, you'll see that the Florida Commission was there breaking it up, and you can hear the guy at the end say, "What the hell? Just enjoy what you did." You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
I don't know, but they were not happy about that whole incident, and you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. All I can say is.
All I gotta say, all I gotta say is it was a business decision, and it was a business decision that anybody running a business would do if you had an employee that is a multiple time violator. I mean, it is what it is. Like, I already gave you the restaurant reference, but like, you and I are in the military. If we had a fucking good staff sergeant, right, that is good at his job, knows his shit, but fucking pops hot 3 times for drugs, guess what? He's fucking gone. We're gonna get him the fuck out of there.
If he was fighting people, he'd be gone.
Yes, or yes, like he gets into a fight with somebody at drill. He gets an Article 15. 3 months later, or a month later, he fucking goes out in the field and does like one of the best exercises we've seen anybody do in fucking the longest time. Comes back and breaks somebody's fucking nose in the barracks. Guess what? Great soldier, gotta fucking go. You're a problem. Sorry. We're trying to run a business here. It is what it is. It is what it is. And they tried to cover their own tracks with some chat GPT fucking thing. And now the truth is out there, guys.
It's it's all my fault. God damn it. What the hell did I do?
So guys, you have seen it all, you've heard it all, and you can formulate your own opinions off of what you've seen tonight. I think Merck just had a shoulder surgery. Maybe we'll see him fight sometime down the road. I don't know, but hey, I had a good time tonight talking about this, Mike. I had a good time talking to Big Ben. I had a good time talking to you. No, Mish, stop it. Let Mike keep popping off.
Hey,
Okay.
listen, this is all truth, though. Is it not truth? We don't. Everything that we are telling you guys and showing
It's
you
the
guys is just
truth.
absolute fucking fact. I'm not saying one way or another. Listen, fighting in public when you're not in the ring, wrong. That's all there is to it. That's the thing. There's always like people like, oh, this person got away with it, that person got away with it. It's like, yeah, but at some point, somebody's gonna have to become the example. It always works like that, man. Listen, people piss me off all the time. We fucking have drill, we have this or that. Soldiers are pissing me off, but there's gonna be that one soldier that does some shit, and I'm just gonna lose my mind on him. And it just happened to be Blas this time. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Mike,
Right.
look
What
at this.
fucking happened?
Look at Mike says
CGI.
it was CGI. Yep.
Okay, fine. I did use a little bit of Chat GPT, a little bit of Microsoft
It was-
Copilot,
Yeah, right. That's fucking great, man.
But hey,
Wow.
listen, that's the fact. For me, I just see that fucking paragraph and I'm like, dude, I read the paragraph. This guy's saying he was chased to the casino like he's some kind of victim. You're not a victim, dude. You're the fucking aggressor. And we know that. Everyone saw that. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I think it's so stupid. Why would you even say that? Just leave that paragraph out next time. Next time you write that fucking thing, just leave that paragraph out. That's all. If you can go back, just leave that paragraph out because it's a complete lie. That whole thing's a lie. So,
Just
got you dead to rights, bub.
You bubbed him.
Yeah,
You
that's
bubbed
it.
him.
Yeah.
Dude. Well, hey, it's almost 10:30. We got to work
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we do
And
go to work.
I hope everybody got to see what they wanted to see tonight. I hope everybody can get their own opinion off of it. And I think you can all see who was the professional side here and who was not. So fucking bub. I'm gonna put your comment up there, Big Ben bub. LOL.
Yep.
Yeah, let's
Shit
go.
happens, man. That's the truth. That's what happened. That's what you're defending if you're defending it.
That's what
I
you're
don't think he was
defending?
right. Were you gonna hate the guy forever for it? No, I fucking got over it 2 seconds later. But like,
Right.
it is what it is. The guy's a good fighter. 6 knockouts, 6-0. He'll fucking be fine. He'll do his thing.
Hey guys, for
it is
fans
what
of the
it is.
sport, you get to look forward to him fighting Jared Grant, which I would think that would be a fucking great fight, right?
Yep.
They got
Yep.
Jared Grant over there, so
Yeah. Yep.
I know Ryan Perez was in the comments here. Like Ryan, you got to be salivating, freaking thinking about that fight right there. That's a great fight. So
Yeah, it is.
good luck in the future, like they said. And now the truth is out there, and we'll just fucking move on. Mike, BKFC 76 was fantastic. I had a great time this past weekend, but we got a show next week, next Wednesday at 9:05. We're going to talk to Andrew Strode, who's going to be fighting G. Perez for the interim flyweight title. I was going to say vacant, but interim. John Dodson's still the champ. That's right. We're going to talk to
John Dodson.
Where the hell's he? Yeah, we're going to talk to John. We're going to talk to
Is he with BYB now? BKB?
No, I don't think so. I hope not.
We're gonna have a new release. But wait till you see the video I have of John Dodson now.
In a Ninja Turtle costume.
You don't even know what kind of video I got of him.
In his Donatello costume, jumping out of a sewer grate with a pizza in his hand.
Yeah.
We're going to
More
talk
of a
to
Shredder guy.
We're going to talk to Andrew Strode. Oh, speaking of Shredder, did you guys see the interview that I got with Paul from?
Dude, I knew exactly when you said that you were going to say
the Super Shredder
dude's
jacket that he had on. It was fucking crazy.
Super Shredder jacket on. He definitely did. Nice.
Savage Combat Sports Media. What was my question? Didn't show up earlier. What was your question? Rewrite it.
Showed up here in the chat, but there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, a lot of things going on. But also after we talk to Andrew Strode next Wednesday, we are having on Rodney Hinton, dude. So everybody that saw what Rodney did the other day at BKFC 76 in Texas, it was a freaking amazing fight between him and who the hell did he fight? The dude. Let me put that back up there because I just keep thinking about Rodney. I forgot who the hell he fought, but Rodney's going to come on and share his story with us, and I can't wait to talk to him because I know he's got
Darren Whitney.
Darren Whitney, yeah, he's got a big backstory, and
yeah,
Brandon, and Kevin were like, you got to get him on, man. Let him tell his story. So Andrew Strode, then Rodney Hinton, and maybe we'll have some follow up on what the fuck just happened on this episode here. I don't know.
Yeah.
So with that said,
the
Mike,
crybaby's crying, my friend. I'm sorry. Go wipe your eyes off. I still love you guys. I have no issues with you. I know you guys all think, you know what I always, and I know we keep trying to get off, but this is the funny part of it, right?
yeah,
Is there's some weird like gang affiliation here going on, right? It's like a Bloods and Crips thing. It's really funny to me. It cracks me up because like what people might not realize is that Kyle decided one day to send a bunch of messages to just random people. And none of those people were bare knuckle fighters at the time, right? Kyle just sent messages and then just started talking to him on his fucking phone. And then eventually he talked to fucking Britton Hart and Lorenzo Hunt. And then we said, you know what? Let's just talk to them together on like Thursday night. And then we did that. And then we said, let's just go to an event. And then we did that. And then we just kept going to events. And those events just happened to be BKFC events. And then they treated us very well. They were very nice to us. And we tried to be as professional as we could to try to stay as non-biased as we could. And it just took up a lot of our time. So we cover BKFC because they take care of us. They let us go to these events. They treat us well. And all the fighters treat us well. And we cover the sport. And here we are today. That's it. That's literally it. There's nothing against fucking BKB, BYB. There's so many fighters on their roster like Jared Grant that we love. We love to watch him, love to talk to him, love his fights, been to his fights. Dude, this ain't no Bloods and Crips shit for us. We do not give two shits about that. Like, that's why it cracks me up when I see fucking Sean Ulrich in here and Mike Vasquez pop up out of the fucking, where the fuck did they come from? Those guys have never been in here talking. All of a sudden they just popped in for 1 second, then they bounced again. The funniest shit ever. You guys, take it easy, man. Take a breath. Fucking calm down. You guys have Blas. You won, right? Quote unquote, you guys won this fucking thing. Now, obviously, that's what your whole fucking thing is. It's like, oh, Blas over here. We're doing so much better. Shouldn't you be happy? Seems like you guys are so fucking mad. Calm down. It's fine. Everything's going to be fine. You guys are going to be good. The only thing I have to say is change that ring. I fucking hate that fucking ring so much. I hate it. Good night, guys.
peace.
Peace.